Coach, talk a little bit about the cross country teams, how they've been doing thus far. You guys are about 3 meets in, 2 meets in.
3 meets. We're going into our third meet this week at Lansing Community. Um, the women's team, I would say right now, on paper, are a little bit ahead of the men's team. But the men, for some reason, they always come on late. So I'm hoping that history will repeat itself in their case, and their slow start will be reversed when the races that really matter most present themselves.
Talk a little bit about you guys. You have a lot of transfers and freshmen that came in, or freshmen that came in for both teams. I know there's more on the men's team than the women's. So talk about what they've done so far.
The transfers have given us a significant boost on the men's side. Joey Borelli from Macomb, Eric Spitz from Lansing Community, DeJuan Wallace, also from Macomb. Those guys have come in and just kind of added a little depth to some of our better upperclassmen. Tyler Noble, who's usually right up there, one or two, leading the team week in and week out. Greg Beatty, who's always up there in the top 3, top 4. Chad Scott, who's a sophomore, who's also up there in the top 4 or 5. So these transfers have just come in and just added some quality depth to our team. On the women's side, we added some truly fantastic freshmen. Tia Ames from Shepherd, Emily Short from Tawas, Chantel Fondren from I'm drawing a blank here, Chantel, from Chesaning, as well as Victoria Pete. So the young kids the freshmen that we brought in on the women's side, because our women's team, senior heavy, won't necessarily impact the women's team as much as the men that we brought in will impact the men's team. But it is a team sport, and some of these young ladies, 1 or 2 of them, will certainly step in and fill a vital role for us.
You mentioned that you guys have a meet this weekend. What are your goals for the teams?
Well, right now, we're a championship sport. We're not football, we're not basketball. You don't have to have so many wins in order to get in the playoffs. You don't have to go so many rounds in the playoffs. We have 2 meets that really matter most, and that's our conference championship meet and our national meet. If we can have our kids ready to run near perfect races on those 2 occasions, then life is good. And I'm sorry, I should back up. We've got our conference meet, our regional meet, and then our national meet. So conference being very important. That's the first step in achieving team goals that we've set out for ourselves. Then we move on to regionals, and if we do well there, we advance on to nationals. So those meets certainly have a star by them on our schedule because those are the meets that really matter. But this week starts the scored meets for us. From here on out, every meet that we participate in will be a scored meet. And it's good for the kids because it forces them to change gears mentally from this meet is not a scored meet. The mileage that I'm doing right now, it may affect my performance, but it's not going to hurt the team. So that mentality kind of has to go out of the window starting this week because from this week forward, every meet that we run is going to be a scored meet. And we really need to assess ourselves and assess our pack running and assess our team strategies as we move forward and get close to those championship events.
Any final thoughts about your cross-country season?
No, just go Cards.